and start with the famous, now traditional stream recap. So for this stream recapitulation, I went through the first 2D game, which is the Dodge the Creeps, and it was quite interesting. I got during stream, I got a suggestion from one viewer to use something different than the tutorial suggests. Since I sometimes it can happen that tutorial is not updated properly, but it seems in this case it is. So what it says, engine Godot engine 4.3 documentation. If you're as I'm working with editor 4.3, everything worked as expected, following the steps in the tutorial. But as a measure of precaution, I took advice from a viewer in chat and extended the tutorial, adding a custom scene with a different node type, and build all the way until that node type didn't work as expected. Let's say it didn't have the signal for inherited from area 2D for body enter as a body entered area, something like that. But that was working for the instructions given in tutorial, so I could have just continued further, and I didn't have any issues with the implementation. And what I did was type everything manually. So if we have a look here for recapitulation, what's going on with the project. I will just close the art section to close. So if we look at this section here, I've got the scene, player scene, which should be this 2D thing, which is this guy here, and a version suggested by a viewer, 2D scene, character body. Same things, but at one point this didn't have over here didn't have the body entered body. It doesn't have that to implement further the logic. Collision object 2D doesn't have the property like player area 2D body entered. It has something like mouse entered. I kind of understand what would this mean, maybe like for the game where mouse is part of the gameplay, pointing with mouse, so we can detect the mouse pointer in the element on the screen, but that's not the goal for the tutorial. So, and anyway, so everything worked as expected, and I was able to manage with learned using everything learned previously from previous streams. I managed to get more comfortable with working, deviating from instructions, adding more things to the like extra scene that I will not use, and I know now what to do with these files that I don't need like in the project. So I've got during these 7 days I've got very comfortable customizing, even deviating from the given instructions in tutorials. So that's the result actually, not just the summary. For the summary, you can always check and refer to the manuals your first through the game contents, and it's actually quite fun because if you don't have previous, if you didn't go through previous steps, and I suggest before jumping into this, do go step by step through all this. You'll be really comfortable, because if you check the comments of the users, you'll notice they didn't do they tried to speed run. But the point is not to get the achievement you completed the tutorial. The idea is to learning from previous steps in detail, and additional course step by step, especially where is it, the web app learning from 0G. You'll get really comfortable, and in a couple days altogether, after 8 hours, you will already be able to sort out the bugs or discrepancies, even if you're following some third-party tutorials. And for the progress of my first 2D, we've come to the completed this chapter main game screen, and here is the game. In the end, it runs from the scene. We can control. The guys are moving. I die. I need to restart the project. So in the next, after this, we need to implement the user interface to restart the game that is not yet implemented. Restart and show the high score. And I even put a to-do in the code to implement a demo mode where the game plays itself. And I'm just curious about what approach would I take. Do I take the emulate the aspect, allow the character algorithm, develop the algorithm for the character to dodge these creeps by like the player sees the whole game view, and it can just read and calculate from direction of the creeps which ones to dodge, and maybe expand on the learning algorithm to know how to dodge multiple creeps, depending if it's able to learn. Maybe start building a learning algorithm, not just dodge the first one in a row and hit the next in a sequence coming at him. And there is another approach maybe to implement like a vision for the like detecting the mobs, so the player character protagonist has a vision, but then he would need to look around himself to detect the mobs and then dodge them, or give him the ability to see the gameplay area just like we players do, and then analyze the trajectory of mobs and select which direction to dodge them, which is kind of intuitive and more logical, analogical, and maybe add to that the learning algorithm. Maybe. So what's left is to finish with the head-up display user interface. These thingies that I'll leave for the next part. Thank you all for stopping. Let's see here. It was interesting having noticing growth in the viewership in the interest on the YouTube, while most other platforms were quiet. But we have a new subscriber on Kick. Shout out to Whitleders. Whitleders 876. Anybody else came in new? Well, shout out to Game Dev Dougie on YouTube and AB Patel coming up or showing up over there. See you in, I don't know, half dozen hours, 10ish hours from now. I'm not sure what I'll do. There's something I have to do. It doesn't matter. Thanks for stopping by. Switching to the outro. Cheers.